Okay, so in this video, we're gonna take a look at the genre exploration challenges. These are templates that I made, and we kind of talked about this during the dashboard video, but they're designed to help you practice writing in different styles for film, TV, and video games. So if we were to go to the drop-down menu, and then we have all 8 different templates. Like I mentioned in the other video, we have heroic action, we have positive emotions, horror, comedy, drama and suspense, fantasy and magic, sorrowful emotions, and action. And these are very similar to the way the recurring tasks are set up, how they're on a recurring basis, but I had to do a little bit of maneuvering and some math in terms of dates, so that basically at the start of every week, so on Monday of every week, you get a new template and it cycles through all 8 before it repeats itself. So right now, May 6th, we are on drama and suspense, and then next week is going to be fantasy and magic, and then sorrowful emotions. You'll likely see a different template depending on when you access the accelerator and when you access this course and you're watching it. So with that in mind, let's just take a look at how these challenges work. So I'm inside one of the populated challenges. It's similar to a project, it's similar to a task, but it kind of runs on its own database because it really is its own thing. So each template, based on which one is populated, is going to be assigned a different genre or a different tag. So again, we have those different styles listed out. Challenge status is going to be basically like what we've seen before. Is it not started? Is it in progress? Are you done with it? The date is going to show you when it was populated. So whether it's the dashboard page or on the tasks and projects page, and we saw it, that's going to show you the challenge for the current week. And if you are behind on a challenge maybe from the previous week, it'll show up there as well so that you don't forget about it. The music upload is a file link. So basically, you click it, you can upload a file, you could embed a link. Next up are the timers, and these kind of function in the same way that the focus log timers work. Once you press start, then the start time will show up as a property. So we press start and it goes May 7th, 8:11 p.m. And then if we were to end the timer, then the end time property shows up, and just like again with the focus logs, we have our time in minutes, and that will show up showing how many minutes you worked on this challenge. These properties will only show up once it's not empty. If we want, we can clear the timer, those 3 properties go away, and we basically start fresh. The only other property in here that is not... Okay, so the created time. So this will show you that this template was created May 6th, which we know, at 12 a.m. So that is basically come Monday, 12 a.m. that Monday, this is created automatically. That's basically it. Those are all the properties that we have for the challenge. Now, in terms of the layout, of course, we have our navigation sync block menu. We have the tutorial, how the challenge works, and I highly recommend you checking this out just so you kind of have a real breakdown as to how each one works. Just so you know, every genre follows this same kind of template, so this should be the same for no matter which one you're writing for. If we were to look at the left-hand side menu, we have our buttons again. So here we have the same start timer as up here. So you could press this button or the one up top and it's gonna start your timer. End timer, clear timer, and you can mark it as done. So basically this will just automatically set your challenge status to done if you've completed your challenge. Next up, we have common methods. So I like to keep the box area for very simple tips. In drama and suspense, it's more of a textured melody. You have sad harmony, so it's similar in a sense to sorrowful emotions. A very slow time, so rhythmically slow. The tempo is slow. And very minimal orchestration. So maybe a lot of solo instruments, maybe just like a synth or a pad layered underneath or something. And so you'll see per style, we cover the melody, harmony, rhythm, and orchestration. And if you know my film composer's recipe book, this takes that book, the basics of that book, and heavily integrates it into the accelerator. And then we have at the very top in the center, the drama and suspense exploration challenge kind of explanation. So this week, week, we're stepping into the world of tension and anticipation. Prepare to write pieces that build a gripping atmosphere, heighten emotion, and leave listeners on the edge of their seats. So just keep in mind, maybe films or shows like The Sixth Sense, Shape of Water, Haunting of Hill House. And before we get into the instructions, on the right-hand side, we have basic notes. So both drama and horror music share similar characteristics, but drama is going to be a bit more subdued and a little bit more logical than horror. We have some more tips for writing a melody in this genre. We have tips on writing harmony in this genre, rhythm and tempo, and orchestration. So it kind of expands on these common methods. Finally, we have the instructions. So if you are at a loss and you don't know where to even begin, this is an option for you. I'm not saying to follow these instructions to a T. You write the way that you feel the most comfortable while sticking to at least some sort of structure. It's a great idea to time yourself. How long can you get this done? Start the timer. How can you work with dynamics? How can you experiment with minimalism? Can you manipulate time? When you're done and you feel pretty good, not 100%, but when you feel good enough that this is going somewhere, you can stop the timer once you're done. Take note of how long it took you to complete the challenge. You can upload the file for future reference and then mark the challenge as done. And you can always come back to this if you need to. Remember, you're gonna come back to drama. You could do a totally new piece in 8 weeks, or you can come back to it. But the next week, you're gonna have a completely new style to focus on. So I really think this is just a great way to practice your skills in different genres. That way you can find out which ones you like doing, which ones you definitely don't. And and the last part of this template is just the idea log. This is just a blank space really for you to take notes, any other references, any scores you've been listening to that you want to reference, and then you can jump back and forth between the accelerator and your DAW. And that is basically it. Let's go back to task and projects. I want to just double check that we're all good. So like I mentioned, this is going to show you everything for the week. And then if this is overdue, it'll stay there so that, you can keep it top of mind. Other than that, that is the genre exploration. I really hope that you take advantage of it. I think you'll get a lot from it. So it's one of my personal favorite features of the accelerator.